Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I was not expecting to go live. Here we are. We are reacting to a trade. I am just getting myself situated here. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We got another blockbuster trade coming on through. Isaac Paredes going to the Cubs. What in the world is going on here, everybody? Hello. Sorry, I'm a little. I've been bamboozled here. I did not expect something like this to be coming through. I didn't expect a trade to be happening at this point, but I guess you got to be ready for anything. But I wasn't expecting this kind of a trade. What? Isaac Paredes going to the Cubs? I'm thinking the Cubs are going to be maybe selling off a couple of pieces, and here they are, getting a huge piece on the market. I'm going to tell you right now, Isaac Paredes is not cheap. He's not cheap at all. And we're going to break this trade down. I think I did see Christopher Morel going back in this deal. That's such a Rays kind of a move, man. I'm still processing this, to be completely honest with you. I saw it come across on my phone, and I'm like, what? The Cubs? I thought the Yankees were in the mix. I thought the Astros were in the mix. But the Cubs? What? Who saw this one coming? I have no idea what's going on. But here we go. Everyone, if you can, while I'm getting situated still, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you're just finding me for the first time, subscribe. Join the family. Join all the fun over the next couple of days. We're going to be reacting to this stuff as much as possible. But again, I apologize, everyone. I am still just kind of getting my bearings straight here. I got to pull up everything. I was working on a video, and then all of a sudden this happened. So I'm like, what the heck is happening right now? Okay, so here we go. Jeff Passan was the first, and here we go. Jeff Passan, breaking news. The Chicago Cubs are acquiring third baseman Isaac Paredes in a trade with the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, going back here, I believe we had here... okay, so John Heyman, Isaac Paredes goes to the Cubs in a surprise move. Ken Rosenthal saying here the Cubs are acquiring Paredes from the Rays for Christopher Morel and two prospects. We must know the two prospects. I'm going to tell you this right now, everyone. Isaac is not cheap. Going to be very pricey, right? Having a good season, has a lot of control, and he's not making a whole lot of money. When you combine all those factors, you're going to have a very expensive piece. So let's go here. Here we go. I just didn't think the Cubs were... You know what? Give it up for the Cubs, man. I like it because they're saying, you know what? We're still going to go for it. We're still going to give our best this year, but we're going to get a guy that's going to help us for the next few years. I like that a lot. You know, I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe the Cubs, maybe they're just going to retool for the offseason. You know, maybe shed a little bit of salary, maybe go after a couple of free agents in the offseason, go for a bit of a retool. I don't think anyone saw this. I mean, you could definitely fit this into the retool category, but this is like a buy retool kind of a move. You're basically combining both. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually very glad they were able to get Christopher Morel in this deal. Like you were able to get Paredes and you're able to shed Morel at the same time. I mean, there's some good things about Christopher Morel, but listen, I'm going Isaac Paredes all day on this kind of a move, man. So here we go. Morel, he does have a good amount of value too. I mean, don't think just because, you know, the numbers are looking a little weird with him, he still has a good amount of value. So I'm waiting to see who these prospects are going to be. The Rays are just getting rid of everyone at this point. So we're waiting on, oh, okay, Michael Shin. I see you in the chat. Is it Hunter Biggie? Bij? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. And Ty Johnson are the others in the package. Okay, so here we go. Let's put these guys in. Oof, not a lot of value right there. I'm not saying baseball trade values is the holy Bible when it comes to everything, but that does look a little low if you ask me. And we got Ty Johnson going back in the deal. Oh, was it? You said Ty Johnson? Ty Johnson's not even coming up in the system. Oh, boy. Is that the... I don't think that's the right... Is that the right name? Those two... Who are the other prospects here? I don't know. Cubs are all... Wow, look at John Heyman actually just tweeting out here. Cubs are one of the six or so teams to check in on Blake Snell. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, everyone, can you... You said Tyler Johnson? That name's not coming up either. Is he in the system here? Here we go. We're going to go to Baseball America. I feel like... Ken said it's Bige and Ty Johnson. Both are barely top 30 prospects. So let's go here. Let's go to the Cubs' top prospects here on Baseball America. Thank you for joining me, everyone. I know I seem a little just all over the place right now, but I was not expecting this at all. Well, no one was expecting this, but I wasn't expecting this this crazy of a trade here. Like I'm thinking I'm getting my mind ready for the Cubs to get rid of a couple of pieces. You know, I got my eyes on Jameson Taillon, guys like that, and then all of a sudden they're picking up Paredes, and now they're in the news for Blake Snell. What is happening here? What was that? We just got something that came across. We just got something. Okay, Ken Rosenthal said, yeah, Ty Johnson, Hunter Bige. Thank you for those of you that put that in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, we got a lot going on right now, everyone. We got a lot going on. So it looks like this is a massive undersell. So Hunter Bige, I don't even think he's in the top 30 on Baseball America. Well, let's look him up here. Baseball America. Let's see if I can pull up a quick scouting report for him. Looks like he's having a decent year in the minor leagues. The walks are very high right now. He is with the Iowa Cubs. Got a good amount of strikeouts, 13.5 strikeouts per 9. Yeah, there's no recent scouting on him as of right now. They have a 2019 draft report for him, but there's not much else on that. Let's just go to Pipeline. Maybe he's on Pipeline. Wow, man, you got to think here with the Rays. Man, are they thinking here? Okay, well, Bige is number 29. Okay, so he's in the top 30 here. I mean, so one thing with him, he's got a big fastball. All right, big fastball, 65 fastball, and a slider to go along with it. That's not surprising to see the Cubs, or the Rays, sorry, looking for pieces like this. They look for tools, right? They look for, even if maybe they're not throwing a whole bunch of strikes, we know the Rays, they like to look for those big tools, right? And then they can build upon, work with those weaknesses, right? This guy already has a big fastball, big slider, and a cutter as well. But he has problems throwing strikes. We just saw the walks per 9. He actually has had a cup of coffee with the Cubs this year. Has done okay. He's got 5 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings. But, I mean, you're looking at a reliever here, really. This is basically a future closer looking. Basically, that's what this is looking like, really. In Iowa at AAA, he had 12 games. He had 6 saves. So, I mean, yeah, you could be looking at a big-time closer here for the future. But we need a little something else on Ty Johnson. But as of right now, this is really what the trade is looking like. Now, Hunter Bige, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I apologize if that's not the correct pronunciation. I will admit I am guilty. I have never heard his name said on anywhere, any game, or anything. But the reason you're going to see his value really low is, usually prospects that are basically relievers. I mean, there's not a lot of value, right? I mean, yeah, sure, he might have really good stuff, but reliever risk is a big deal when it comes to your value. As for Christopher Morel, I mean, let's look at this right now. Christopher Morel, he's having himself a kind of a weird year, right? He's hitting 199, has an OPS under 700. He's got a 93 WRC plus. I mean, he's got 18 home runs. Basically, Christopher Morel at this point, he's basically home run or nothing, really. He's got some versatility. He did play some positions last year, but they had problems trying to figure out a spot for him. 74 games at third this year. I believe last year he was playing kind of all over, right? He was played a little short, some second. He was in the outfield for a little bit there. He played center field, right field, and so he was basically like a super utility guy last year. But this year, they've basically stuck with him at third. This is a really interesting move. Again, and I'm going to point this out here in the chat. TK Bikes NC, never trust the Rays in trades. This looks weird on the. It's like, what are the Rays doing here? But they must see something. Morel is really, Morel is a fun player when he puts it all together, right? If you take a look at his numbers from last year, I mean, besides the defense last year, he was a fun offensive player last year. 247 on the batting average. On base was a little low at 313, but he was slugging 508, had a WRC plus of 119, 26 home runs. I mean, he was a productive player when it came to his offense, but the defense, he was really not helping you out there. And this year, you're not seeing that same kind of production. You're not seeing as many extra base hits from Christopher Morel. You're basically just seeing really home runs from him at this point. And then also, if you take, he has gotten the strikeouts down. That is one thing to take note of with Morel. Last year, he was very aggressive at the plate, but it was kind of working for him. But as you can see here, the strikeouts have come down a little bit. The walks have gone up a little bit. So you are seeing a bit more patience from Morel, but you're just not seeing the amount of extra base hits. He's not getting the same amount of total bases that he was getting last year. But yes, that was going to be the next stop. Villuminati. We were going to go to the StatCast page. Let's go. I mean, yeah, Morel, he's going to have some red. I haven't looked at his for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you're going to have some red here. I mean, you saw the production last year. This guy can do really well. Now, this is where I'm kind of thinking about this, where Morel, the advanced numbers speak a lot for him. It's not working out as much this year when it comes to the surface numbers. I'm wondering if the Rays, they see a little bit more that they can tap into and they can get a fully developed player. Because when you look at Paredes, the one thing with Isaac Paredes this year is those underlying numbers are not good. So it's funny because you're kind of flip-flopping the two, right? Where Paredes, while you're not seeing a whole lot when it comes to, exit velocity, the barrels, the expected numbers, there's not a whole lot there, but you're seeing a very disciplined hitter at the plate. And that's what I think the Cubs were trying to get Morel to do. So I'm wondering if maybe these two guys, they could possibly end up maybe getting better. Morel getting better with Tampa, and then Paredes maybe even getting a little bit better with the Cubs. Maybe these two teams can end up being, I'm not saying Paredes is having a bad year. I'm just pointing out that, there are a lot of blues here when it comes to, the bat speed, when it comes to that. Maybe the Cubs can work something out there, right? Try and get those numbers going a little bit. And then when it comes for the Rays, right? I mean, he's obviously been doing a great job when it comes to his plate discipline. So maybe, Morel, he has been getting the walks up, but maybe the Rays can figure out something when it comes to the strikeouts, or maybe they're okay, with the strikeouts. Maybe they see already some kind of a plan with a Christopher Morel. Maybe they just like the profile a little bit better. It's a very interesting trade at the end of the day. Very interesting. Oh, did Reese McGuire just get DFA'd? Reese McGuire DFA'd. I was seeing that. I was wondering if yesterday was wondering if he was going to be involved in that trade. I was wondering if he was going to go back to the Blue Jays. But okay, well, Reese McGuire has been DFA'd. Okay. Oh, no, not the Reese McGuire comments. Oh, no. Oh, no. But yeah, this is a really interesting trade here. The Rays, my guess is they're just seeing a profile that they like a little bit better, and they're just trying to cash in on it, right? And with Paredes, maybe that was a profile. Because I'm wondering, why would the Rays even want to trade Paredes, considering the numbers he's been putting up? But maybe they see Paredes. This is the one thing the Rays do. I'm going to point this out. If you've taken notice of the Rays and moves that they've made, they like to move players before they maybe start to go on a bit of a downward trend, right? That's one thing Tampa, it's almost like they're a step forward when it comes to certain players out there, with their own, and they just try to get rid of them, right? So maybe they see something with Paredes where they're thinking, all right, these numbers are probably going to go down here at some point. But, maybe the Cubs, again, maybe they feel like they can tap into something with Isak there. It could be, it's like how do I say this? I feel like it's kind of weird to say because usually you don't use the term change of scenery for a good player, but maybe in Isak's case, maybe a change of scenery can actually make him even better than what he is now. And with Morel, obviously you can see here, I mean, you are seeing those underlying numbers, you are seeing those advanced metrics there, but he just hasn't been able to put the whole package together, right? So maybe that's what I'm kind of thinking it is. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it very, and maybe other teams were seeing that too. That's another thing to consider with Paredes here is, maybe the other teams, they were taking notice of this, right? They were taking notice where, yeah, the expected numbers, not very good, doesn't get a lot of barrels, but this is a guy that works the counts. He takes advantage of his pitch when he sees it, right? And he does damage. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it, honestly. I'm thinking with other teams that were involved, I'm thinking, they saw this and they probably weren't really willing to give up all that much for Paredes. But the Rays are trying to cash in on him before maybe those numbers start to come down a little bit. That could be I think that's really, in my opinion, unless I'm missing something, I think that's pretty much what this is at this point. Oh, Chase Anderson got DFA too? Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, the Red Sox are making some moves. Can the Red Sox go get Brent Rooker? Can we please go do that? I mean, you never know what the heck is going on with Jim Bowden anytime he's putting stuff out there. But he connected Brent Rooker with the Red Sox. Listen, I'm all about it. Please go get Brent Rooker. That guy, Red Sox fans, if you remember back in 2008, 2009, Jason Bay, that's what Brent Rooker would be at Fenway Park. I'm just pointing that out to you, right? Please get Brent Rooker. If that's possible, definitely do it. Anyway, we're talking about Isak here and Christopher Morel. So, overall, it could be, this is the way I'm looking at it. I think Paredes, you were going to see his value come down here because those underlying numbers, I think, we're going to catch up with him eventually. Right. So you're seeing a 53.8 median value right now. I think at some point that was going to start to trend down. And I think with Morel, I think you might have seen his numbers start to go up a little bit at some point. And I think you meet in the middle there, right? Because if you look at Morel, his expected numbers are pretty solid, right? The xWOBA is at a 78th percentile. X slugging is in the 70th percentile. So it's just funny because they're complete opposites, right? Paredes has the better plate discipline overall for the most part, while Morel, he's going to have the better metrics. He's going to have the better bat speed, right? So it's not really like a change of scenery usually where you see a player is not doing well. It's kind of a play where there's good things about both, and maybe they could get a little bit better in different places. We'll see. But I think it's also, too, when you look at Isak Paredes, this is the one thing that I think is one of the biggest factors that goes into it. Now, if you take a look at the Tampa Bay Rays payroll, right, Isak, for this year, where is he? Is he? Did they already move him? I guess they already moved him. Where? I don't see him anywhere. There he is. So this year, Isak is making $3.4 million, and I think the Rays, they're trying to get out of that money before it starts getting higher, right? He's at $3.4 million this year. 2025, that's probably going to go at least to $5 million, I would imagine, maybe even $5.5 million. So I think the Rays, they're just trying to get out from that salary before it starts rising. And then for Morel, what was he making? Morel, he is at, so that's, I think, a big factor of this too. That, I think, is a big factor. I see Rosenthal. Hold on a second. I'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, Morel, he's making under $1 million, and he's still in pre-arb. So I think that's a big factor with this. I think this is also the Rays trying to cut some money, and they're trying to get a player that they think could end up, they could tap more into at the end of the day. So, yeah, I think it's really it. Really, it looks like a pretty bad overpay, but I think Isak, right, the expected numbers don't look great with him, and he's making more money. So I think the Rays are just trying to get out of that while they can. Let's see if maybe those expected numbers could get better with the Cubs. And from the other point of view, right, Morel, he's making a lot less money, and the expected numbers are really good. So I think they're just trying to do a switcheroo, right? The Cubs, they can handle that payroll a little bit more. That's what I think really it is. I think it's the expected numbers. I think it's the money that's involved. So I think those are the biggest factors in this trade. It looks very lopsided. But then the Rays also get Bij. Is it Bij? I'm sorry, I haven't heard the name. But this is a guy that has really good stuff, and he could end up being a ridiculous reliever for the Rays. And he's already shown in a very small sample size that he has pitched well. He has the stuff for the major leagues. So I think in the end, it looks not great from the Rays' point of view, but I think give it a bit of time, and I think you could end up seeing this trade evening out a little bit. I think Paredes, you might see that value come down while Morel's is going to come up a little bit. And then they got a couple of other prospects in this deal to where maybe it's a little closer to even than you would think. So I hope that makes sense. I know I rambled a lot. I hope I explained that the best I can. But let's see what else is going on. We got a lot of stuff going on. Everyone, I'm going to be going live here tonight as well. So I'm not going to hang out too long, but I'll hang out for a little bit. We'll see what's going on. I saw there were a couple of super chats in here. Brewers are among the team. Oh man, everyone, the news is coming in. It is trade deadline season. All right, what is going on here? What is going on? We got a lot of news. Okay. All right, Jeff Passan, he touched on this situation. Just because the Cubs are considering moving players from this current roster doesn't mean they're selling. Just as because they acquired Isak Paredes doesn't mean they're buying. Modern baseball is a game about opportunity. The furthest thing from a binary. It is a fundamental tenet to understand how teams operate and what motivates them. There can be buyers and sellers, yes, but ultimately teams view themselves as value gatherers, and the only question is whether they're gathering that value for today or down the road. Is there a joke that's flying over my head here? Is there something I'm not? I feel. Is this like a Lord of the Rings quote? What is this? Is there a joke behind this? Because I feel like this is not really a Jeff Passan kind of a tweet. It sounds like very Lord of the Rings-ish, or is this just an honest thought? I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's kind of basically what I was sort of saying here a second ago, right? I'm not saying that's exactly what I was saying, but again, it's kind of where maybe the Cubs see an opportunity with Paredes. They like the plate discipline with him. Maybe they can get the other stuff going. And with the Rays, they're trying to get out from that money. And, and maybe they see something with Morel, and he's going to be cheaper. So, and they get a couple prospects along with it, including one guy who has really good stuff out of the bullpen. So, but all right. What else did we have here? What else did we have? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, the Marlins waived Josh Bell. So Josh Bell is on the market. I didn't see that one. Danny Jansen DHing for the Red Sox today, making his Red Sox debut. Let's see how that goes. Red Sox claimed Yohan Ramirez off waivers. Okie dokie. John Heyman, Brewers are among the teams on Eric Fetty. I've been telling you all for a while, man. I've been telling you all for a while. I think Eric Fetty's a perfect fit for the Brewers. I think he's a perfect fit. We also, we also had something else from John Heyman. I did read it a little earlier, but I'll read it one more time. The Cubs are one of the 6 or so teams to check in on Blake Snell. So they seem to be out of sell mode. Still iffy as to whether Snell goes anywhere, though his name is clearly out there. Very interesting, because it's almost like Jeff Passan had basically a conflicting thought with what Heyman was just saying here. So it's interesting. I mean, if you look at it from the Cubs' point of view, if they were to go after Blake Snell, you could look at that as it really comes down to the player option there, right? Because if Snell pitches well, sorry for the rhyme, if he pitches well down the stretch, there is definitely an argument to be made that he could opt out and go get a longer contract. I mean, yeah, $30 million, that's pretty nice, right, for next year. But maybe he sees it being more advantageous to go onto the market and go get a longer deal, right? He almost had that longer deal with the Yankees this past offseason. He turned it down looking for more money, and look what that got him, right? So, yeah, I mean, if the Cubs were to trade for Snell, I would imagine maybe they would want him to exercise that player option because they would probably want him for next year. I don't know. I think there could be more to that. It looks like the Cubs are really I think they're trying here to stay competitive, right? If we look at the wild card race for the Chicago Cubs, I mean, they're 6 out. I don't know. I feel like this is just it's too big of a hill to climb at this point. I mean, there's no chance in the division. I think they're really just retooling for next year at this point, and that's what I think Paredes is. I think Paredes is a move for the next couple of years, and maybe that's what they see with Snell. But I think there's probably whatever is going on with the player option there. I think that's going to come into play. We'll see. We'll see. Very interesting turn of events for the last hour. Everyone, if you can, we got 500 people in this chat. Hit that like button for me. Let's get the like goal to 200. Can we get to 200 likes? I don't see why we can't get to 200 likes. Let's put the poll. Can we get to 200 likes? Alrighty, the poll is up. Can we get to 200 likes? Go vote below. But we did have a couple of super chats here. Let's see what's going on here. What are you guys saying? What are you guys thinking? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Todd Evans, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. I love you, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Carter Hawkins, $2 super chat. Okay, all right. So it's Biggie. Oh, that's fun. All right. So I thought it was Beige. I wasn't sure. So it is Biggie, like the rapper. Okay. All right. Guy's got good stuff and a good name. Juice48 with a $4.99. Not sure what to feel. Cubs farm system at third with Matt Shaw and Cam Smith look good. Even if you move Shaw to second, that covers up Triantos. Yeah, Shaw. That's another good thing to think about there. Has Shaw played any other positions this year? Has he just been moving around the infield for the most part? Or has he been playing any outfield? Okay, yeah, he's mostly second base. He's played a little short. So Shaw's really looking like a utility infielder at this point. So doesn't look like you're going to move him to the outfield. So I would think at this point, right, if you got Paredes for the next few years at third, if you got him there, I mean, you got to wait on Shaw and Triantos, right? I would imagine. I mean, could you see maybe? I don't know. Would you move Nico Horner at this point? I'm wondering. I did predict on my trade deadline predictions if if the Cubs were to sell, I didn't think they were even going to be able to sell Morel at this point. But Nico is someone that could bring back some value, right? He could definitely bring back something. So I would keep an eye on that because, but again, Shaw, Triantos, they're still a bit far away, right? It's not like they're, knocking on the door. It's not like, they're trying to pound the door down, right? Yeah, Shaw is the number 2 prospect in their system, but he is in Double-A right now. So, it's not like you got to get him up right now. And then, Triantos, he's also looking pretty good too. Hitting 300 to 342 on base. He's got 33 stolen bases there. So, I mean, yeah. I feel like you could do something. Could you maybe see a situation where the Cubs, maybe you could deal one of these guys? Maybe you could deal someone like a Triantos to get something for the next few years, right? Could you maybe see something like that? That's kind of a retool kind of a move, right? Where it's buying, but it's you're more looking for it for the next few years, right? Not really this year. Yeah. John Heyman. Braves and the White Sox have been in communication. What do you know? The Braves and the White Sox in communication yet again? Are they? I mean, remember the whole fiasco with Dylan Cease? I mean, my goodness. John, let's go back. What did he just say? Let me pull up the tweet here. Braves and the White Sox have been in communication, uncertain what the focus is, but Luis Robert would surely fit Atlanta. Crochet, Fetty, Fam. I've been saying Fam for a little bit now, and Braves fans get mad at me every single time I say it. Oh, Fam's going to ruin the clubhouse. He's going to ruin everything. He's going to ruin the chemistry. He's got a bad attitude. Even though this man was just playing in a World Series with the Diamondbacks last year. What do I know, I guess? I don't know. Crochet, Fetty, Fam also may be of interest to the injury-depleted but still contending Braves. The problem with the Braves, I'm going to tell you this right now. The problem with the Braves is I don't know if they can afford Luis Robert. I know that might sound exciting for Braves fans. Like, ooh, Luis Robert? I don't think you can afford him. I don't know, unless there's another piece I'm not thinking about. Crochet, I don't know. I mean, that would be amazing if you could pick him up. I think they're talking Fetty and Fam. I think those two probably make the most sense when it comes to what they can afford. That's just what I'm thinking. If we were to go to the good old simulator over here, I'm guessing it's Fam. I mean, well, let's go here. So let's see what a Luis Robert trade could possibly look like. I don't know if the Braves can do it. Well, we'll start with Robert, right? Crochet has a lot of value. I see a couple super chats coming in. Thank you for those. I'll get to those in just a second. All right, what do we got? Come on, BTV. Help me out. Here we go. All right, so, I mean, your big pieces, I don't think they're going to move Kelnick. I feel like he's not going anywhere. I mean, Waldrop is their best prospect they could deal. You do got Baldwin. I mean, Nacho just came up. So I don't think you're going to deal Nacho or Schwellenbach. I don't think those two guys are going to go anywhere. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, could you do Kelnick? I don't know. Would the White Sox even want Jared Kelnick? I don't know. I don't know. If they did Kelnick, that could definitely, if you did him and like Waldrip, I mean, that could maybe, put you on the right track. I don't know. I don't know why the White Sox would want Jared Kelnick. So my guess, personally, I see that super chat coming in. Thank you for that. I'll get to that in just a second here. I think it's Pham. I mean, that makes the most sense. I really think that's my guess. Maybe you could do a Pham and Fetty in a package. I think you could see something like that. Pham, he's not really going to cost all that much, but Fetty will. He's got a year of control. He's having a pretty good year this year. So, yeah, he will cost you a little something. What do we got here? Let's get to those super chats here. Here we go. We had a few of those come in. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Here we go. Jack M, $5 super chat. I think Morel has a very similar profile performance to what Paredes had when the Rays got him from the Tigers, hoping my Mariners get a first baseman soon. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, right? Paredes, I remember when that deal happened with Austin Meadows, right? I think that's what the trade was. That the trade? I think that was what the trade was. It was Paredes and Meadows in there, I think. Yeah, that could be something similar. I think the Rays, they probably thought, all right, let's just get as much out of this guy. They probably saw some of those expected numbers start to come down a little bit, and that's when they're like, okay, let's part ways, right? Let's get in something else. But also, I do think the big part of moving Paredes was the money aspect, right? He was going to be getting a pay bump next year. He was going to be going from 3.4 probably to anywhere from like 5 to 6 million, right? But you also say here, hoping my Mariners get a first baseman soon. Yeah, I totally think the Mariners could still get an upgrade there. I would like Yandy Diaz there. I think that would be pretty fun. You got the Orioles. You got Mountcastle, where he's been on the market. Maybe that could be a situation there. We'll see. But I think the Mariners, they need to add another bat. Someone that doesn't strike out. Let's do that, please. Let's do that. What do we got here? Ren, $4.99. What's the timeline for the Rays? Seems all their new pieces are scattered from 1 year off, rated to like 5+. I think the Rays, I'll go 26. I'll go 26 for the Rays. It feels like probably next year that's, they'll put a team out there, right? Won't be bad, but, probably won't be good. That's what I think. I think they're going to be looking at just trying to develop some more of these guys down in the minor leagues. I'll say 2026 for the Rays as of right now. Thank you for that. $4.99. If not 26, at least 27. Z Corp Alpha, $9.99. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Atlanta Braves need an entire team reorganization. They will wait till 2028, 29. They definitely need to replenish that farm, but they got a lot of guys right now that they are capable of winning it. They can go for it this year. There's no question. They need to get bats in that lineup, though. They need that lineup to stabilize again. They got the pitching for it. They just need some bats. I don't know if they need an entire reorganization. I wouldn't go that far. Personally, I don't know. I think they do need to replenish that farm. I'll say that. But I can understand the frustrations from Braves fans lately, right? You're getting a lot of injuries here, right? And that's what's hard, right? When you don't have that organizational depth. Luckily they had someone like a Nacho. All right, luckily you got him when Ozzie Albies went down, right? So that's nice when you can go into your organizational depth and call those guys up, right? But when Ronald went down, it's like, what do you do at that point, right? You can't really, there's not really anyone waiting in the wings where you could give them a shot, So I don't know, man. That's the tough part. And that's where I think they need to really focus on getting some players developed down there. So Andrew P., what do you think the Giants are doing at the deadline? Well, at this point, I hope it's Blake Snell. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Cooper Criswell, what time are you going live tonight? I'm going to be shooting for 9 p.m. Eastern time. So everyone that's with me right now, we got 500 people in the chat. We will be live later, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to hang out too long here. I was not expecting to come on here. I was actually working on a video. So, but yeah. Everyone, we got to 200 likes. Thank you for that. If you can help us get to 300 likes, I will love you forever. Can we get to 300 likes? Here we go. So let's see, kind of before we start to wrap things up here, let's see what's going on. Let's check out Twitter land. Is anyone saying anything? Alrighty, here we go. All right. Let's see. Head honchos, what are you guys saying? All right, so John Heyman, we just looked at that tweet from 8 minutes ago. Josh Bell has been placed on waivers, but assuming he goes unclaimed, he will remain with the Marlins, not a DFA. Could be a trade candidate. I don't see any team picking him up. I don't know, man. Bell is having a bad year. I just don't see where he fits on a team out there. But nothing really else going on as of right now. I mean, the Red Sox making a couple of roster moves. I'm hoping. I mean, I did post, I posted this mock trade today. I'm going to be very honest with you. I posted this, and if this were to happen, I know Red Sox fans are probably going to get mad that I say this right now, but this would be an absolute steal if you got Brent Rooker for this. I know Christian Campbell's been flying up. He's doing amazing in the minor leagues this year. But, dude, Brent Rooker's been hitting bombs this year. He would fit like a glove at Fenway Park. Oh, my goodness. I don't know, man. Like, I would do this in a freaking heartbeat. And it's crazy. At least in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I don't know, man. I'm seeing people, like, saying, no way. There's a lot of people that like this trade. I'm not saying it's, like, hated across the land. But I'm seeing a lot of people not liking this. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? No one, most Red Sox fans didn't even know. I see ghosts. I completely disagree with you. This would be an amazing trade for the Red Sox. You get a massive right-handed bat for Fenway Park. Lucas Erceg would be amazing in that bullpen. They've had a lot of injuries lately. Yeah, Christian Campbell. But here's the thing with Christian Campbell. Yeah, he's been amazing this year, right? Guarantee you, I'd say 95% of Red Sox fans didn't even know who Christian Campbell was before this year. Guarantee it. I would love this. Yeah, Miguel Blaze. Yeah, there's a lot of upside there. I don't know. He just hasn't put it together. Couple more pieces attached with it. I see ghosts. Miguel Blaze is the most talented prospect in the Red Sox farm system. Listen, I get the upside part of it, but I've been hearing his name now for like 3 years. I know he's been hurt and whatever else. We got to remember this, everybody. Do you know how many prospects don't make it? Do you know how many prospects are considered like, oh, he's the next miss? You can't miss this guy, right? Do you know how many prospects like that don't end up doing anything? I mean, come on. We got to get rid of this like prospect hugging sort of thing, all right? If you want to go hang on to your top 3, yeah, that's fine. I can accept that. But if anyone after your top, maybe your top 5, 5th prospect, depends on the organization, right? How good that number 5 prospect is in your organization. I would say anyone outside of your top 5, up for grabs, right? Easily. Maybe a conversation for the 3 or the 4 and the 5 guy. Top 3, hang on to those guys. Sorry, I do this all day, every day. Brent Rooker is proven. The guy's a machine. Here's the difference. You know what Brent Rooker is going to do. You have no idea what Miguel Blaze is going to do. I have no idea what Christian Campbell is going to do. No idea. I would love to see it, but listen, you can't hang on to your prospects forever. Can't do it. I see ghosts. Yeah, I see you. I see you. But the big word you're looking at right there is upside. A lot of players don't make that upside. They don't hit it, right? It's fun to think about, but when you're trying to make your team better, you got to do it, right? You got to do it. I agree. I think he could be a good player. Could. You know what you have in a Brent Rooker. You know what you have in a Lucas Erceg. That's the difference, right? That's the difference. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. Now, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Kyle Teal. I'm probably not trading those guys. Though that's my core. Miguel Blaze, yeah. See you later, buddy. I mean, good luck. Good luck in future endeavors. Christian Campbell, yeah, you've been amazing, but I'm going to use that value. I'm going to go grab that guy, right, that I know that's going to help me maybe win a World Series this year. And another thing with Christian Campbell is that the Red Sox have a ton of infielders in their system. So it's like, that's another thing too, right? You got to look at it from a point of view if you have so much of a surplus, deal from that surplus, right? That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. What do we got going on here in the chat? Out of the Park Sports, have you talked about the Jason Adam trade? Let's actually talk about that real quick before I get out of here. I did not, obviously, I'm not going to go live for a Jason Adam trade, but that did happen today. I'm going to be very honest with you. Did not like this for the Padres. I don't like it. I don't. Sorry. I mean, I like it in the aspect where, yes, Jason Adam, he's going to help out your bullpen. I think that's fine. I'm always cool with trying to add a guy, but this was a huge overpay. I get it. It's the market. I understand that. I know. You got to play for the market. You got to see what these other teams are doing out there, and you got to make a move depending on what these other teams are doing. But, I mean, listen, Dylan Lesko. Listen, I know Dylan Lesko's been having a hard time in the minor leagues. He's having trouble throwing strikes, but there's a lot there, man. He was your first-round pick just a couple of years ago. He had Tommy John. He came back, and I get it. He's having his troubles this year, but oh, my gosh. I know it kind of maybe goes against what I'm saying a little bit with what I was just talking about, with the hanging on to prospects, but Dylan Lesko, I mean, that could be a future ace of your staff. And you gave him up with 2 other prospects to get a setup guy? Am I missing something? I mean, if you did this trade for a starting pitcher, which I think the Padres needed a little bit more personally, I'm a fan of the Padres bullpen as it is. It never hurts to strengthen your bullpen. I get that. But man, this is really what it cost? This is amazing for the Rays. Amazing for the Rays. This is so good. You got this for a reliever? Are you crazy? Like, if I was sitting on my phone, hanging out, I get a call. AJ Preller's on the phone. Preller says, hey, man, we'll give you Lesko, Gonzalez, Bush for Adam. Okay, yes, I will call my secretary right now. I will get that squared away. I will send the paperwork over. I'll sign it. Absolutely. I wouldn't even hesitate for a second. This is crazy that the Rays got this. That's nuts, man. You got Dylan Lesko for Jason Adam? No, Jason Adam is good this year. I'm not talking down on I think it's a good addition for the Padres bullpen. But my goodness. I mean, he's going to really help out that bullpen. No problem with that. But man, I don't know, man. I would have rather have used that towards a starting pitcher that I think you needed, right? Again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, though. So I'll look at that. I'll look at it from that point of view, too. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he tried getting a starter, dangling Lesko for other teams. Maybe no other teams wanted him. Maybe the Rays were the only team that wanted to take him. So he got the best he could, right? But I would think that you could use him in a package to land a starter. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to get. I don't think you're going to be able to get Garrett Crochet at this point. I think that's a done deal. I mean, you just gave up a big piece that you could have used. Unless now he gives up Snelling. But Snelling has lost a lot of value this year too. So I'm just saying. I mean, Jack M., you make a really good point. I mean, the Mariners got Yimi Garcia for, Yimi Garcia's been pretty good this year, right? I mean, if we were to go, let's pull up both their numbers here. You got Jason Adam. Got Yimi Garcia. I mean, Jason Adam, ERA at a 2.49, FIP at a 3.34. Yimi Garcia, 2.61 ERA, FIP at a 2.53. Yimi Garcia, 12.7 strikeouts per 9. Jason Adam, 9.5 strikeouts per 9. Yimi Garcia, 2.3 walks per 9. Jason Adam, 3 walks per 9. And they got Yimi Garcia for like a bag of potato chips. I mean, let me actually go pull that trade up. Oh, yeah, Jesse Winker also got moved. That happened last night. Jesse Winker went to the Mets. Hey, good for the Mets. That's kind of the move I expected the Mets to make, like that magnitude. Someone that's not going to cost you a whole lot. So, that's the way I saw it. But where is the Yimi Now, I will say this. This was a big overpay for the Angels and the Phillies with Carlos Estevez. This is one that I was like, okay, yes, that's a very aggressive offer, but you understand it, right? You're giving up a couple of guys that do have good stuff. They do have good upside there. This is a really good trade for both sides because the Phillies are in a win-now mode, but the Padres, on the other hand, are just trying to get into the playoffs. This makes sense right there. That makes sense. Where is the Yimi Garcia move? Garcia. Where is Yimi Garcia? I need me some Yimi. Yimi Garcia. What do we got? Here we go. So, yeah, they gave up Clase. That's a pretty good piece for the Blue Jays to get. I did like Clase, right? But, if you're looking at it from the Mariners' point of view, yeah, that's a pretty strong piece. You could argue that, that's pretty tough, right? Clase, he has put up some pretty good numbers. But, if you look at it from the Mariners, right, if you go to the Mariners system, you got a Lazaro Montes there, Farmelo, they're a little further away. But I think for the Mariners right now, it's not like Clase was really going to do all that much for you. I think personally the upside for Lesko was more for the Padres down the road. That's what I think. I mean, unless there's something else I don't know, right? I just found that to be a little crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought that was a lot. I just wasn't a fan of that move. I don't know. I think it's a good get for the Rays. Again, yes, Yimi Garcia, he cost something, right? Let me actually go pull up Clase's numbers. Were his numbers a little down? He was doing okay this year. He was hitting 274, 856 OPS, 10 home runs, 26 stolen bases. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. This is a good get for the Blue Jays, right? So that was a little painful, right? And if you're looking at the Mariners outfield right now, I mean, obviously, you did just get Randy. So you got Randy for the next couple of years. So that makes it a little more digestible, in my opinion. If you didn't have Randy, then yeah, giving up Clase, I think, is a little, right? But I don't know, man. Wasn't a fan. It's good for the Padres bullpen, but you gave up a lot, right? And now let's see what the Padres do for the rotation. So, everyone, I think I got everything pretty much covered here. In the end, the Cubs trade today was kind of weird. It was, when you're looking at that trade from just a numbers point of view, it doesn't look great. Where is that trade? Let me pull it up one more time. Well, actually, I think I already had it pulled up. Here we go. So again, when you're looking at, just to wrap things up here, when you're looking at this trade, it looks really lopsided, but I think you could be seeing Paredes' value coming down here soon because those expected numbers weren't great. But Morel has the better expected numbers and also has the better bat speed, has the better barrels, has the better exit velocity. Paredes has the better overall plate discipline. Morel has improved it a little bit this year. But I think, again, I said this earlier, I'll say it one more time. Paredes, maybe the Cubs feel like they can help him in that department where the Rays, they see those metrics, those underlying metrics look really good. Maybe they feel like they can get Morel to that full potential, right? Maybe the Cubs see with Isak, maybe they could get him to his full potential, right? Even though Isak is doing pretty well, maybe they feel like they can get him to the next level. But the other big aspect of this is that the money for Isak Paredes was starting to get up there a little bit, and the Rays thought, you know what? Let's just trade him. We can bring in a third baseman that is not going to cost us even $1 million. Probably for next year, he's still going to be under $1 million for next year, I believe. I think his final pre-arb year next year for Christopher Morel. Yeah, he's got one more pre-arb year. So he's going to be dirt cheap. The Rays are going to be saving themselves at least a few $1 million with this trade. The Rays, they got to be looking at payroll, flexibility as much as they can. So that's the way, that's at least half of the reason, I think, is why they didn't take as much in return, at least from the numbers point of view. So, but they got Hunter Biggie. I got the name right this time. They got Hunter Biggie. This guy looks like he has some pretty nasty stuff out of the bullpen. You also got another guy and Ty Johnson. In the end, the Rays, they're looking for certain things out there, and I think they see something with this package, even though it might look underwhelming. It's, the Rays operate in their own way. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But everyone, I do think I had a couple more super chats coming in. Let me get to those. Here we go. Z Corp Alpha. Yanks full collapse. Boone fired. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of Boone, to be honest. I feel like you could have already done it, and I feel like they would have done it by now. I think they would have done it by now. I don't know about a collapse, though. I think the Yankees are going to straighten themselves out here. I think they'll be okay. Ethan Sacco, how you doing? $5. My birds are cooked. They need to get a king's ransom for Helsley. They're not cooked. They're not cooked. They're not. Are they? They're not cooked. Did I miss something? Thought they were doing pretty good. All right. They're losing a little bit lately, but they're fine. They're 2 out. They'll get it together. They'll be all right. Could you imagine they sell? No way they sell. They need to get something. Go get Blake Snell. I think that could be pretty cool. Go get Snell. They need to do that. I think that makes sense. Jack M, $2 super chat. This trade makes me love the Yimi trade so much. Yeah. I mean, like I said, yeah, Clase, that's a piece, right? But you got J-Rod, you got Randy for the next couple of years. Go get another outfielder in free agency. You'll be okay. They got a couple other outfielders. They got Farmello down there. You got Montez down there. Go get an outfielder for next year. Let those guys develop for another year. Clase, he's doing well this year, but he was expendable. And the Mariners, they needed to make some kind of a move there. They need to make another move, I think, right? Getting Randy, I think, was fine. Let's see if that works out. Yimi's going to help the bullpen. They need to go make one more move for another bat, in my opinion, and I think they'll be done, right? So, everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to be live again here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. There's almost 400 people in this chat. Do not miss tonight. I will be back tonight. So, I don't know, because this is how it works on YouTube, right? When we go live or we upload a video, this is how it works. You only get 3 notifications sent out within 24 hours. So I went live yesterday, and I went live now. So I think I'm good. So I think you'll still get a notification for later. But just in case, make sure you turn on the notification bell. Make sure that's turned on for me. That way you know I'm live. I'm sure we're going to get some more news over the next few hours here. Subscribe if you're new. Join the family if you have not already. Share the show. Share this for the replay viewers so they can get an idea of what I thought about this trade. And everyone, if you can on the way out, hit that like button. We're 7 likes away from 300. I'll love you forever if we can get there. Everyone, thank you for joining me today on an unexpected stream. I did not think this was going to happen today. I did not think Paredes was going to the Cubs. That was a surprise. But that's the trade deadline for you. You never know what's going to happen. Everyone, I'm out of here. Thank you. We'll see you later tonight.